Yesterday, President Trump's pick to run the FDA, Scott Gottlieb, testified at his confirmation hearing, and senators grilled him on a surprising new priority: e-cigarettes.
E-cigarettes are now available in thousands of flavors. You mentioned one a moment ago about cookies and cream. There's Pop Rocks.
So-called tobacco alternatives have become a multi-billion-dollar industry over the last few years, but the science on their safety is still out. And now the FDA is expected to implement strict regulations on vaping that could kill off all but the biggest players in the business. Eight years ago, Jeff Braithwaite was an out-of-work ex-punk rocker, drinking too much and smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. When was the last cigarette that you smoked?
July 13th, 2009.
At the time, the e-cigarette industry was in its infancy, and Braithwaite's desire to quit smoking and a lack of products on the market led him to create Tasty Vapor, one of the pioneering e-cigarette liquid manufacturers in the country.
Pretty much from the beginning was thinking in terms of a harm reduction aspect. I don't know what this is, I don't know what the long-term effects, but I know for right now, the way I feel, the way I'm breathing, the way I'm exerting myself, the way I'm not getting winded, there's some definite health benefits as a result of not using the former.
But last year, the FDA passed a comprehensive set of regulations for e-cigarettes, mandating that every flavor and every nicotine variation of every flavor must undergo a rigorous and costly licensing review.
We're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.5 billion for our small business to register our products with the FDA.
I don't want to be presumptuous or insult you, but I suspect you don't have $1.6 billion.
No, I got a couple of grand, I'm sure.
E-cigarettes have only been in widespread use for about a decade, so the research on them is limited. But no matter what side of the debate you're on, scientific studies exist to support your conclusion. The FDA, which classifies e-cigarettes as tobacco products, has taken a harsh line on the now $3.7 billion industry. That stance relies heavily on the research and activism of this man.
The evidence is now quite clear that using e-cigarettes in terms of the cardiovascular effects is looking as bad as smoking a cigarette. The effects
is looking as bad.
As bad.
Stanton Glantz is a tobacco researcher at the University of California, San Francisco, and a longtime foe of the tobacco industry. With smoking in retreat in the United States, Glantz has turned his fire on the burgeoning e-cigarette industry.
To me, the biggest health consequence of e-cigarettes doesn't have anything to do with the toxicity of the product. It's that they're continuing and supporting the cigarette epidemic. Use among kids is exploding.
Glantz argues that while e-cigarettes might not kill you as fast as traditional cigarettes, they still might end up killing you. E-cigarettes are safer for you, correct?
E-cigarettes aren't as dangerous as a cigarette.
Okay.
To say safe, it's like jumping out of...
They're safer.
Well, it's like saying jumping out of the 5th story isn't as bad as jumping out of the 10th story.
But it isn't.
Well, you still might end up dead.
Dr. Glantz is and has been one of my heroes in public health.
Michael Siegel is a professor of public health at Boston University.
I modeled myself after him. I was able to get mentorship from him, which was incredible.
And like his hero, Stan Glantz, Siegel made his name as a ferocious opponent of big tobacco. But as big tobacco retreated, the world of anti-smoking advocacy descended into civil war. Glantz says Siegel has, quote, lost all credibility as a scientist. Siegel has denounced some of Glantz's research as, quote, unscientific, illogical, and extremely damaging and destructive.
The debate, to me, isn't about whether it's harmful. Of course it's harmful.
It's about whether it's less harmful.
Exactly. I mean, heating up a liquid of chemicals and inhaling it is not going to be safe.
Why am I being told that this does not work as a smoking cessation device? Over and over by many different organizations. How are they all wrong about this?
Because it threatens the ideology. You know, the ideology in the anti-smoking movement is that anything that looks like smoking must be a bad thing.
I think he's just wrong. One thing that strikes me is that any research which supports his preordained position is good no matter how bad it is, and anything that doesn't is bad no matter how good it is. And
is that the same for you, too?
No.
What bit of research recently has upended a few of your assumptions about e-cigarettes?
About e-cigarettes, nothing has come out that but I
there's a bunch of stuff that's come out that disagrees with you.
No.
Yes, of course there is.
I think what you need to do is you need to look at the actual original research itself.
This brutal ideological battle, Siegel argues, is obscuring an important message. That nicotine doesn't kill people, cigarettes do.
I'm not counting nicotine users. I'm counting bodies. I'm worried about how many body bags there are going to be coming out of morgues of hospitals from people who died from cancer, heart disease, and lung disease.